Okay, guys, it's going to be maybe a longer vid than I wanted, but I want to review my journey of the golf in the rear view mirror. As I look back, I was about 12 years old when I learned how to play golf. A guy by the name of Jimmy Gregory took Ben Hogan's book, The 5 Lessons, gave me a copy of it, and that's what he taught me by. He wanted me to read it, and I did. And I don't remember much about it. I remember the stance and all that stuff, and I remember certain things that he said in the book, or did he say it? I don't know if he said it or not, but I remember some of the quotes in the book, and that's how I learned how to play golf. Now, a lot of stuff I think in Ben Hogan's book, after I grew up a little bit and started questioning authority, I started thinking to myself, okay, Ben Hogan always said, hit the ball. I wish I had 3 right hands, and hit the ball as hard as you can with your trail hand, which is 3 right hands. Then, in 2 or 3 pages later, he said, hit the ball as hard as you can with both hands. What the hell did that mean? I don't know. So I questioned some of the stuff that was written in Hogan's book. A lot of it's good, a lot of it is, I got to question it. Because I know for a fact, through my experience, that if you take a golf club and you give me 3 right hands and I push on that shaft as hard as I can, it's going to overpower my left hand. And what happens to that shaft, see what the shaft does? Well, when the shaft does that, what does it do to the club? It closes it. That's a hook, or a pull hook, which is what he was trying to get away from to begin with. So why in the hell would he say that? I don't know. Maybe, Hogan was. He kind of wanted to mess with other people's minds, especially the people that he competed with, and maybe he was saying, well, why don't you just hit it as hard as you can with your right hand, and you'll hook the dog shit out like I used to do. Well, that took out a lot of players, didn't it? Because they couldn't keep it on the course. So I don't know. I really don't know why a lot of stuff in Hogan's book, I question. But I do question it, and for the reason that I just showed you. Now, who was the best player to ever play the game, and how do we measure that? Well, if you measure it by majors, and the person who's finished second the most in all the majors would be Jack Nicklaus. Well, Jack wasn't even, he was just coming on after, about the end of Hogan's elite status, we'll say. But Hogan already had out the book, The 5 Lessons. Hogan's book became the Bible of golf, period. Even though Jack Nicklaus came on, he just whipped everybody's ass. He just went out there and first guy up, hey, Arnold Palmer, I just whip your ass. And he won 18 majors. And the thing with Nicklaus was, he wasn't the type of guy who the elites thought would be a good partner with the PGA Tour. They wanted eliteness, okay? And Jack just didn't have it. He had a little squeaky voice. Well, thank you very much, and stuff like that. And he had a flat top, and he was from Ohio, and nobody from Ohio was supposed to win 18 majors. But the son of a bitch did it anyway, didn't he? So, why does everybody think that Hogan is the cream of the crop. I never understood that, because he didn't even come close to Jack Nicklaus's records. And but yet he's up out there on that pinnacle because people put him up there, and everybody refers to the 5 lessons, which I think has got a lot of black magic in it. Okay, so there was 2 men that, and again, Hogan, a lot of you guys don't know this, I'm sure, but Hogan, before he had his car accident, you think John Daly had a weird ass swing, you know, where he almost touched the club to the ground, you know, on his back swing? Hogan was the same way. A lot of people don't realize that. And then he went out after the car wreck. They said he never could walk, never could do this, never could do that. And that's probably the reason why he's put on that pedestal. He came back and he shortened his back swing up. He kept that right elbow into him, and he learned how to hit what I call the foul ball down the fairway. Okay, that's probably why they put him up on the pedestal. But there's really only 2 guys that really have said what needed to be said as far as the golf swing's concerned. And that was Jack Nicklaus and Mike Austin. Jack Nicklaus was asked once, he said, well, Jack, where do you release the golf club? Where do you start releasing it? He said, when I start coming down. Well, what did that mean? He didn't go into detail about it, but I'm fixing to go into detail about it with you later. Okay, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Mike Austin was the same way. He always talked about casting. There's no such thing as a cast, okay? Not unless you're doing it a certain way. But he shows you that there's no such thing as a cast if you watch any of his videos and understand them. So those 2 guys, in my mind, were the only 2 that really told what you had to do to become a consistent player. And you haven't got to be the most athletic person in the world. You haven't got to be the most coordinated person in the world. All you got to understand is what they were talking about and perform it. And that's what I'm going to share with you next, okay? So y'all stay tuned, because I think what I'm fixing to show you, and I put this up before, and I took it down months and months and months ago, probably 2 or 3 years ago. And it's all come back, okay? The circle's been complete. And Eddie Carter helped me to realize today, after we played, he sent me some videos, and I said, yeah, I've watched this guy, I know exactly what he's talking about. And sure enough, there it was in plain view. Okay? Anybody can do this. Anybody. So I'm going to share it with you guys in the next few vids, and I'm going to pin at the bottom like I always do, because I've always said this stuff is not, there's no secrets. It's all been done before, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. And once you see it and once you understand it, you will be able to go out and actually perform it and actually do what I'm fixing to show you and improve your game 100 times fold. Okay, that's all I can say. So you guys stay tuned, and there's more to golf than what meets the eyes, but there's certain things that you don't need to watch to become a good golfer. And let me give you an example of that. Let me give you the single pivot. The single pivot. You don't really need to know that stuff. How about the 2 pivot system, right leg, left leg? How about weight shift? How about lateral movement and all this other stuff that we've been taught or listened to, try to do, and it never works. Okay? I'm going to show you something that does work. All right? And with a little work on your part, you can be good. As good as you can be. Talk to y'all later. Bye.